We begin this special digital broadcast of Fox 13 News at 5:30 with breaking news. A young woman has died after being hit by debris from a construction site near the state fairgrounds in Salt Lake City over the weekend. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Evans. Ava Allander's family says she was hit by a scaffolding board from a nearby apartment building under construction. The Utah County native lived in Seattle but was in Salt Lake City for the Red West Country Music Festival. She had retreated to her car during the intense storm on Saturday. Fox 13 News reporter Jeremy Tom spoke with her family this afternoon in Murray.
Yeah, Bob, I was able to talk with Bobby Allender, who was Ava's uncle, and he mentioned to me while she lived for several years in the Pacific Northwest, she was born and raised in American Fork and was an avid concert goer. So this was supposed to be the perfect weekend for her. It was a chance to come home, and it was a chance to see some great artists surrounded by her friends. He had mentioned Post Malone was someone she wanted to see in particular, but that all just took a terribly tragic turn.
It was about 5 o'clock on Saturday. Her and her friends had actually left the festival to go back to their car for a little bit.
He said Ava was looking for shelter there after the Red West Festival was evacuated because of that severe weather. Winds, police said, picked up some nearby scaffolding.
Her friend said that some big piece of wood plank just flew through the air and hit her in the head.
Police add the vehicle was parked near 1055 West North Temple, where an apartment building is currently under construction. Ava was rushed to the hospital, but it was there that doctors discovered the injury had crushed her brainstem. She was on life support until she was pronounced dead Sunday night.
Her life ended while she was doing exactly what she loved to do. She was 23. It's awful. This is tragic.
But at that young age, she made a choice that will allow her legacy to quite literally live on.
She had made the decision a few years ago to be an organ donor, and now many people are going to benefit from that. And honestly, I think that is so beautiful.
As they prepare to remember Ava's life, they've set up a fundraiser to help her family with medical and funeral costs. And they hope to use some of the money to support her friends with grief counseling.
They are beside themselves. They were trying to do CPR on her. They were calling 911. So we want to help her friends as well.
In Murray, Jeremy Toms, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Already a class action lawsuit may be filed after the weekend festival. Fox 13 News anchor Amy Nay looks at your rights as a ticket holder.
We shepherded through the Fire Festival, including the class action, including exposing what happened there, which led to criminal conviction in prison for the promoter.
Mark Garagos is a high-profile defense attorney. In 2017, he filed a $100 million class action lawsuit on behalf of attendees of the failed Fire Festival, which he says share similarities to what happened this weekend at Red West in Salt Lake City.
It appears that they've got a prima facie case that this thing was not handled appropriately. It is an awesome responsibility that most of the time these things work wonderfully, but there are always occasions when something calamitous happens, and that's what happened here.
My name is Derek Yurkis, and I created the Red West class action page.
Okay, what are you hoping with that? I saw it's an Instagram page and you've got a form that people can fill out. What are you encouraging people to do?
So my goal is to get as many people as we can that attended the concert to share their situation and get their information so that we can hire a firm to help represent all of us.
Derek Yurkis says they already have some 500 people who filled out a form and shared their stories.
It just sucks to see how this event was handled, and I think it could have been handled in a much better way.
Derek's just 16 years old and Saturday went with his brother and a friend to the concert only to be forced out when the severe weather rolled in.
We waited over 20 minutes and we're getting shoved against walls and shoved around trying to leave the venue, and it shouldn't be that difficult to lose an emergency exit. We also were leaving right away, so it just was terrible how it was handled.
Saturday ticket holders were invited to come to day 3, which both Derek and Mark say is not an acceptable refund.
If I was advising the promoter, I would say you do not want to go down this road. You want to make good with the people who bought the passes and anybody else who was there, and whether or not, and hopefully you had insurance.
He says that's what helps cover costs like these when something goes wrong.
If you've got people who relied on the representations that were made, if you've got people who traveled, incurred expenses, that's some awfully powerful evidence.
To the organizers' credit, he says they provided guests with these real-time updates.
That shows a sensitivity to it, and that's to their credit. And you don't want somebody to just say rain or shine, and I don't care if there's a monsoon. You want them to be looking out for the festival goers.
I hope that we can get compensation and get Red West's attention. If that's them refunding tickets, that's great. But if not, I've already been in contact with multiple law firms.
Amy Nay, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Tragic turn for what was a very wet weekend, and we've got more on the way, don't we?
Yeah,
Nate?
we've had some showers roll through southern Utah. Bob, this is Ruby's Inn near Bryce Canyon. We've got some clearing now, but yeah, it was pretty socked in. Pavement still wet there. We still have the clouds. This is Cedar City, so showing some of the shower activity that's been moving through. This is 6 hours time lapse of satellite ready. You see the storms just as kind of models had predicted. A lot of the showers into the afternoon and evening across southern central Utah, and they're going to move into our neck of the woods as we get into maybe 8 or 9 o'clock hour. Kind of walk you through some of the timing, and it's all because of a storm system out off the Pacific coast, ushering in a warm southerly flow. So we're seeing temperatures rebound from where we were yesterday, but it's also a moist flow. Showers on the north end of Zion National Park up towards Canaraville. We're looking at some showers again for Bryan Head and for Cedar City. Most of the weather stations, only a few hundredths, maybe 400ths of an inch reported at St. George Airport, a quarter of an inch over the Pine Valley Mountains, and some light precipitation as you extend north towards Beaver and into Millard and Juab counties. We're going to start to see some shower activity as well. Clouds are on the rise. Live look from the Natural History Museum camera, upper 60s right now for Salt Lake Airport. South winds not as blustery as previously. Earlier today, there were about 15-mile-per-hour winds. We're just 7. We're expecting the clouds to stick around, temperatures to cool off into the low 60s through the evening. By the time we have the 9 o'clock newscast, we'll be 60 degrees and have a chance of some rain out there. Could see a few lightning strikes, especially over the mountain areas, with temperatures cooling into the 50s overnight. Futurecast timing out some of the shower potential. It should surge north. This is 7, 8 o'clock into areas of the southern Wasatch Front. Should see some showers and storms linger overnight. Ahead of a cold front that's moving in, we're going to have a big drop in temperatures as well. We'll have more on your full forecast in just a minute, Bob. Chris?
I'm Chris Reed in New Harmony, where just 48 hours ago, almost everything behind me, including the bottom level of this home, was underwater. But now there's a line of cars all the way down this direction, full of people here for one thing, to just help out.
It was dark, rain was coming down, and we didn't realize where we're standing was getting flooded until it was too late.
Up until last Thursday, New Harmony received about 10 inches of rain total for the whole year. On Friday night alone, the Weather Service says it received 5. New Harmony is a town of about 236 people, which makes how the community responded to each other's need all the more remarkable.
We had a Tesla in the garage that was 2 feet underwater. It's stuck in there right now, and things can be replaceable, but it's a tough one. It's a tough pill to swallow today. But having the community come and just open hands, not even ask, just grab a pair of gloves and start coming and grabbing, seeing where they can help.
Trent said he had home insurance, but not flood insurance. Across the street, damage was even worse.
This particular house over here has a 9-foot basement, and it was completely full of water. We've got a tremendous number of people who have had driveways washed away, landscaping washed away.
Town's fiber internet lines were severed, but they've now been restored. On Saturday, even as festivals are being canceled for weather in other parts of the state, the annual Apple Festival went on in New Harmony. Fire Chief Jim Banks said it had to. It's the fire department's annual fundraiser.
We had to relocate the vendors to the street because of the water that we had in the park. We didn't want to take it damaging the grass, but even then, people showed up. So, we just kind of roll with the punches, and small town spirit. You just make it happen.
New Harmony's on the other side of the mountain from the town of Pine Valley that was scarred by the Forsyth fire this summer. Pine Valley Fire Chief Robert Hardy told us Monday one home there had its basement flooded. Otherwise, no other home sustained more than minor damage. Damage to nearby campground, though, will keep it closed through at least the end of the year. Heavy rain started falling again Monday afternoon in the area, not close to the downpour Friday night. And Trenton said not close to the amount of help he's getting from the community.
What was it like to have a line of cars coming to?
It is much appreciated.
From New Harmony, Chris Reed, Fox 13 News, Utah.
That's how we do it here in Utah. Well, it took more than 2 years, but today Hamas released the 20 remaining living hostages following the October 7th terror attack. Emotional reunions as the final hostages held by Hamas were reunited with their families. Hundreds of thousands cheered in Tel Aviv, celebrating this milestone moment. Under a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal, hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees were met with large crowds as they also reunited with their relatives in the West Bank.
Keep sharing your stories to policymakers. Keep telling us what do you think needs to happen and give us ideas on how we can break the deadlock. And we kept doing that. They kept open the White House for us. And President Trump has done it.
Israeli authorities say Hamas handed over 4 coffins with the remains of deceased hostages. President Trump, along with the leaders from Turkey, Egypt, and Qatar, signed the ceasefire agreement during a summit in Egypt. The president said a lot of rules and regulations, quote unquote, but the exact contents of the document are unclear. Speaking after the signing, Mr. Trump called it a moment millions of people have prayed for.
Nobody thought this could happen. With the historic agreement we've just signed, those prayers of millions have finally been answered.
President Trump says phase 2 of his 20-point ceasefire plan has already started as he meets with world leaders in Egypt for a summit on Gaza's future and peace in the Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was invited to the summit but declined. Members of Utah's Jewish community have also been celebrating the return of the hostages. In a statement, the United Jewish Federation of Utah called it a, quote, long-awaited moment of relief and unity. Spokesperson Ron Zamir told Fox 13 News the return of the hostages comes after a long period of dread and anxiety.
Our community has been holding its breath for 2 years. Hearing month over month, this person's alive, this person is dead. You know, that shadow, that holding of breath was just ever present in our Israeli community and in the Jewish community.
Zamir says there is still trepidation, particularly for the families waiting for the remains of the 24 hostages who died in captivity.
Every day for 2 years, I've worn this necklace that says, "Our hearts are held captive in Gaza. Bring them home now." And today is the first morning I didn't put it on.
This afternoon, I spoke with Rabbi Sam Spector of Congregation Kol Ami in Salt Lake City. He pointed out that the weakening of Iran and its proxies indicates a larger shift toward peace in the Middle East. He is optimistic the deal with Hamas and the return of the hostages and Palestinian prisoners could be the beginnings of true peace in the region.
We're seeing that Syria.
You're watching Fox 13 News, part of the Scripps News Group.
Hey, Max Roth here at the Utah Museum of Natural History, and you can see behind me there are a whole bunch of those yellow school buses. A lot of kids on field trips for Indigenous Peoples Day.
History is about then and now. Who came before informing who we are now? This museum is a field trip magnet, and you can hear the kids, who I couldn't shoot on camera, here on a good day for it. Some of these kids looking for their own history. I overheard a young girl tell her friends about her Shoshone grandma making beaded jewelry just like this.
I do think it's important because it's a part of all of our history.
Erin Gehring brought her son to the museum. She's a Westerner who likes knowing as full a history of her home as possible.
My parents grew up in Blackfoot, Idaho, near the reservation, and so this, some of the beaded work and things they did growing up as well.
I'm actually from New England, out in Vermont.
Gabe Drown and his wife included the museum on their trip around Utah.
Going through the national parks, we got a chance to check out a lot of the different petroglyph sites.
He loved seeing seeing it, but Gabe and Aaron know they don't need to come to a museum or to another state to appreciate indigenous cultures.
Well, my family has a lot of, native ties in New England, so it's something that I was brought up with, looking at a lot of the different New England native cultures and history.
Well, the Natural History Museum consults with local tribes, among them the Goshute. This was once their land. They called Red Butte Canyon right behind me Moni-Whitney, because at one time there was a bloody battle and some of the captives' hands were hung at the mouth of the canyon to warn other potential invaders off. Moni-Whitney meaning Red Hands Canyon. In Salt Lake City, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, the weather has occupied our attention quite significantly this weekend, and it's really, you can't make any jokes about it because there was loss of life and a lot of damage from what happened.
The wind, yeah, it really was howling, right? So we had a very strong thunderstorm, very strong cold front move through. It brought lots of change, a quick drop in temperatures, surprisingly chilly out there. And we're starting to see some more changes out there as well today. So let's show you some of the rain totals. We saw so much rain, lots of flash flooding across southern Utah. New Harmony had over 5 inches. This is since Thursday. And we've even had storms roll through early this afternoon, so we would add to some of these totals, but incredible amounts of moisture in less than a week. Typically, we don't even see that for a couple of months of precipitation. Boulder Summit, 3.97, Cedar City, 3.25. Seen some rain showers move through there now. Bryce Canyon at 1.85. Utah has had the wettest October for the water year. So we start the water year October 1. This has been the wettest start so far for Salt Lake City, and it's been the 7th wettest as far as the wettest October. So we've tied that for 2004. We've got more rain on the way. 3.91 inches is the wettest October ever on record, so we're not even far from that. And we've got more moisture on the way. Oka Mountain camera showing some of the cloud cover, a little bit of moisture out there this evening. We're seeing clouds on the rise thanks to the south flow. It's warmed our temperatures up from yesterday. Good 15 degrees warmer than yesterday, so it feels rather nice. It is blustery out there, especially across west central parts of the state. The southern portion, 10-mile-per-hour winds in Cedar City, 21 though in Milford and in Ely. So we've got a trough of low pressure approaching from the west, and it's going to continue to keep this south flow in place into tomorrow. And so gusty winds certainly going to be an issue. In fact, we do have a wind advisory that's been issued for 10 a.m. tomorrow through 9 p.m. Tuesday. So ahead of the storm system that's moving in. Notice the wind advisories for areas west of us in Nevada as well. Generally 20 to 30 mile per hour south winds, up to 50 mile per hour gusts, so could toss around loose objects out there. If you've got outdoor decorations, displays that could get uprooted, they could be down the street for sure with some of those stronger winds. As far as storms tomorrow, we've got a chance across much of the western part of the state, including the Wasatch Front as the storm system approaches, and we're looking at more rain even this evening. We'll walk you through some of the timing. For tomorrow, though, chance early, otherwise another chance late tomorrow night. Not a terrible day for the Wasatch Front. It's all about the timing with the storm system. So as we get into the rest of your evening for your Monday, we've got showers moving north. Within the flow. We're expecting them across much of central Utah over the next hour or so, approaching the Wasatch Front as we get into this evening after about 8, 9 o'clock. Could see some lightning out there, hear some rumbles of thunder, and have some rain come down. Moisture could linger into early Tuesday with more of a southerly push on Tuesday. Generally drier conditions statewide, but as that storm system gets closer, it's going to increase the amount of moisture Tuesday into Wednesday morning, with the actual cold front moving in right around midday. So this is about 10, 11 o'clock on Wednesday. Throughout the early afternoon, the low lifts through the state, should continue to impact us into Thursday with wraparound moisture. Flash flood potential just possible tomorrow in Arches Canyonlands, but Zion and Snow Canyon elsewhere not expecting flash flooding. And we should get a decent amount of rain from the storm system that's moving through, maybe a good ½ of an inch or so in Salt Lake, 0.22 in Provo. Southern Utah extended forecast 74 to 63. So good drop in temperatures with the front moving through. Storms mainly tomorrow evening, windy conditions, and then lingering through Wednesday morning before clearing out. Sunshine takes over for the rest of the week into the weekend with those mid to upper 70s for highs. For the Wasatch Front, low 70s to mid 50s. As far as your extended forecast goes, showers linger through Thursday. We're going to be in the mid to low 50s midweek, rebounding to the upper 60s Sunday, dropping again Monday next week to just 60 with more storms.
The Utah Mammoth wrap up the 3-game road trip tonight in Chicago. They'll be without one of their top defensemen. Sean Dursey was injured on Saturday in Nashville. He's expected to miss 4 weeks with an upper body injury. Here's Fox 13's David Graff with the Mammoth matchup.
Sean Dursey looks to be in quite a bit of pain here.
Dursey will be out for a little while, so we'll play at 12-7 tonight. Cards drawing. Eights should be in. If Eights is not in, it will be Gazzino. We'll know game time decision. So that will affect our line depending if Eights is good to go or not.
Take a bow, Barrett Hayton.
Barrett Hayton has yet to play this year after the best season of his career in Utah. 20 goals and 26 assists for 46 points a year ago. He'll likely rejoin Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller on the top line.
He's great. I mean, he's good defensively, good offense. He plays both sides of the puck really well. It makes a lot of plays for us, gets to the net, wins a lot of battles, and we just gel well, and we kind of know where each other are at all times.
Hayton could provide some offensive spark for a Mammoth team that has only managed 3 regulation goals through 2 games.
There's no one coach right now say, okay, our team is tuned in and we're playing the way at our full potential. That's why it's a long season of 82 games, and you need to get better every day.
You know, it's tough to win this league, so anytime you get a win, it's great. No matter who you're playing, just kind of try to bring that same game, and if you do it consistently enough, I think you're going to stack some wins together.
Tonight's opponent, Chicago, is a young team headlined by former #1 overall pick Connor Bedard, and they've lost all 3 of their games this season by 1 goal. David Graff, Fox 13 Sports, Utah.
You can watch the Mammoth play the Blackhawks tonight on our partner station, The Spot, Utah 16. Pre-game coverage starts at 6, and the game starts at 6:30.
You notice how you go out and you got to take your coat with you. You got to take your sweater with you.
Seat heater's got to come on if you got them. The
Have
heater
you
in the
turned
car.
on the heat at your house?
I did. It has the auto mode where heat cool, right? So
yeah.
Hopefully the AC doesn't kick on. I should probably turn that off, but definitely had the heat on this morning.
We had the heat on overnight, and then you have to turn the air conditioner on.
Oh my goodness. The life we live in. Yeah.
First world problems.
First world problems.
First world problems. Thanks for being part of Fox 13 News, this special digital edition at 5:30. We'll see you back on TV on Fox 13 News at 9.